Hello everyone. Today we are going to make one of the easiest dog treats ever. It's only one ingredient. Hi, I'm Danelle and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being part of the family. So we are making beef jerky today. This is USDA Choice Beef Top Round Steak London Royal. This is the creme de la creme. And did I say that this is going to be for dogs? Yes, it is. And it's very, very easy to make. I get this locally sourced from my butcher. I just give him a call, let him know how many pieces or how many packages I need, and he slices it for me. And as you can see, the slices are nice and thin, so that they dehydrate well. So with that, let's get started. So as I said, it's a very, very easy process in making the beef jerky. I use these trays. I use a dehydrator. I have a 10 tray dehydrator. And as I've mentioned before, I have a dog treat business. So I have gotten this larger dehydrator so that I can be more efficient when I'm making jerkies or when I'm dehydrating my other treats. So basically, it's just a matter of putting the London Royal on the dehydrator, putting it in, pressing the temperature, and pressing start, the number of hours that I'm gonna have it dehydrate, and we are good to go. I wanted to share with you today how I even got started doing this. You may have seen a video that I had done some time ago about me being fired. So I was fired about 3 years ago. And it was a shock. It was an insult to my senses because I just was not expecting to be fired. However, being fired changed my life to a certain extent. I had always owned little small businesses. But you know, as you get married, as you have a family, sometimes you just cannot continue with those businesses. So I stopped some of the small businesses that I had owned and got married, raised my children. All right, so we've got one tray done, and I'll just put the tray into the dehydrator. So I got fired. And when I got fired, I realized that I'm not ready to stop working yet. So I thought about some of the things that I could do. What kind of business could I start? Because I had started businesses, I had had small businesses in the past. And so I wanted to do something, and I looked online and found, just did some research in terms of small businesses that didn't require a lot of financial output. And we already had 2 dogs. So when I found a dog pet treat business, that was perfect for me because I had been baking off and on for my dogs. We've had dogs for about 17 years. So off and on, I had been baking for my dogs. So for me to start a dog treat business was not that out of my comfort zone. So that's what I did. I did all of the research. I went online, got all of my certificates, registered with the authorities, because here where I am, you have to be registered with the Department of Agriculture if you want to sell pet treats. So did all of that and started my pet treat business. I have an online business, and I also sell at farmers markets and then special events that happen throughout the year. So that was my sort of salvation after I got terminated from my job. However, when shortly after I got terminated, I didn't tell you that, I think I told you we had 2 dogs. So shortly after I got terminated, we found out that my little dog, because we have a blended family, so we have blended dogs. So shortly after I got terminated, I found out that my little dog had kidney failure. And the vet gave her about a year to live. And she suggested some diets that I could purchase that would help her be comfortable. But with kidney failure, that's pretty much a death sentence for a dog. The dog is going to live, but there's no cure when the dog has kidney failure. So I did some research on the dog food and found out that everything for the dog had to be ordered online and then sent to the vet for her to prescribe it. And I just decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have this vet decide or give me a prescription for my dog when I know how to make treats and I know how to cook. So we started cooking for our dogs. So that's how this whole thing came full circle. I was doing treats, found out that she was sick, started cooking for her. We did full meals for them. We gave them the beef, we gave them chicken, we gave them salmon, we gave them the greens, we gave them, what else? Pumpkin, parsley, turmeric, all of the ingredients and all of the spices and vitamins that were good for the dogs. However, unfortunately, that did not save her. We had to put her down about a year ago. So obviously that was very, very stressful and sad, and we were both heartbroken. However, we did have another dog, and after Paris passed, Benji started deteriorating. He had cataracts. He became incontinent. I didn't really realize that dogs go through some of the same things that humans go through when they lose a spouse or when they lose a partner. And these 2 dogs were actually partners. Like I said, we had them for 17 years and they had grown to be really, really close. So we didn't realize that when Paris passed away, that he lost his friend, he lost his buddy. So he became anxious. Like I said, he had lesions, he had cataracts, he was doing all sorts of biological things on the floor. He lost his ability for whatever reason to go up and down the stairs, and we were carrying him up and down the stairs. We were carrying him outside. We were carrying him everywhere, and he sort of lost his appetite too. So we went to the vet and talked to her about it. We went twice, actually. We went to her, and the first time she said, well, it's up to you guys. And that's when she enlightened us and told us that we had to determine our quality of life also. Because we were going up and down the steps with the dog, because we had to carry him everywhere, because we were cleaning up after him almost every time we came back from being out, it took a toll on us, and more so on me because I'm the one that's home while my husband's working. So it took a toll, but we said, no, we're going to give you another day. You live to see another day, little dog. And that was in November. But things just got really worse. We realized that we could not go anywhere. Anywhere meaning we couldn't travel. We couldn't go out of town. We couldn't leave him with anyone. We didn't want to send him to the groomers to boarding, because the last time we did that, it was a disaster. When we picked him up, he was just crying, whimpering, as if to say, why did you guys leave me there? I don't know these people. I don't know these dogs, and you guys left me there. So we just realized that our quality of life was deteriorating. So about, this is March, so this is April. So in March, my husband made the decision because that was his dog. Paris was my dog and Benji was his dog. And he finally made the decision that we needed to put him down. And needless to say, it was a very heartbreaking situation to have to do that, because we have been a dog family for so many years. And that dog had become more than a companion for my husband. And I realized that after he passed, that he had been a home companion for me, because when I'm here baking, he's here. He's walking around, he's keeping me company, he's someone I'm talking to. So I'm not talking to myself like I'm talking to myself, like I talk to myself when I'm not doing a YouTube. And he was my companion, he was my company. And I realized that once he passed, I didn't have anyone to talk to. Not only that, I also realized that when you're making these treats, there's always extra. There are always pieces of treats that I cannot sell. I have certain standards and I'm just not going to sell certain pieces. For example, if one of these jerkies, these are very lean pieces of meat, but if one of these jerkies came out with lots of fat on it, I wouldn't sell that. I would give that to him, or I would give it to one of my friends. But now I don't have anyone to give it to, and I had saved up this huge jar. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Actually, it wasn't in a jar, but I put it in this package because I decided that I'm going to go ahead and give this to a friend of mine, because she has dogs. We have friends who have dogs. So rather than throw the scraps away, I just decided that I would give the extra pieces to my dog friends in the area. So I'm still doing dog treats. I'm still doing farmers markets. I'm still doing special events. I'm still taking orders online because I love what I do. And I don't know if we'll ever get another dog. Honestly, it's freedom, because when I come home now, I don't have to worry about, oh, did he mess up? Oh, I better hurry up and get home because I've got to take him out. I don't have to worry about that anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We can go out on date night and enjoy ourselves and not have to be anxious about when we get home, what are we going to find? So I don't know whether or not we're going to get a dog. What I do know is I really enjoy doing treats. I enjoy going to the farmer's market. I enjoy meeting other people who are out and about. And because I'm retired, it gives me an opportunity to get out. And it's just one of the things that I've learned to enjoy and embrace while I'm retired. It's not about retiring and sitting down and doing nothing. At least for me, I believe that a body in motion stays in motion. So I do my baking, I go to the gym, I do puzzling, we go out on date night, we're scheduled to go bowling, we're taking a road trip in a couple of weeks. I'm doing more reading. So yeah, life is good. And without a dog, it's lonely. But the main thing that I want you to take away is that even though you're a senior citizen, you can find something to do that brings you joy, that brings you enjoyment, that brings you satisfaction. I think I've talked too much. The jerky is in the dehydrator. I typically put it in for about 12 hours at a temperature of 165. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to close the door, plug it in. And on this particular dehydrator, the highest temperature it will go is 165. And I'm going to set it for 12 hours. Press start, and we're good to go. So thank you so much for being with me, for sharing this time with me, and I will talk to you soon. the beef jerky is ready. It has been dehydrating for 12 hours. And this is a beautiful cut of meat. Absolutely gorgeous. It's lean with very little fat on it. And what I also like about it, and my preference for dehydrating jerky, is that it remains pliable, that it's not going to be dry so that it snaps like a typical dog bone. I just prefer mine to be a little pliable. So let's show you how you're going to store your jerky. I've got two options for you. The first option is to use this plastic bin. You can store your jerky in these bins for about 2 weeks. And they don't have to be refrigerated because they've already been dehydrated. And the next option I have is if you're going to freeze your jerkies, then use the Ziploc bag. These bags have been designed to be put in the freezer. In the Ziploc bag, they can last for approximately 4 months. When you do take your bags out, my suggestion is if you're not going to use the entire amount that's in the bag, you take out what you need and you put the bag back in, and then you set those aside. However, if you're going to be giving these as a gift or sending them somewhere, I suggest that you take them out, let them air out, let them dry out, and then repackage them if you're going to send them as a gift, if they're going to be sitting around on your counter for a while, because when you put items in the freezer, even if they're in a freezer bag, they're going to collect moisture, and moisture means mold. So therefore, you want to make sure that when they come out of the freezer bag, that they sit out and they get air and they're able to dry off. This was a really, really fun treat to make, fun and easy. And I know that if you try it, your pups are going to absolutely enjoy it. That's all for now, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.